Today we're going to be going back to solving equations and looking at how to solve equations that have multiple steps. They have variables on both sides as well. So the first thing you're going to want to do is simplify each side by collecting like terms if required. Now, before I do anything, I like to put the equal sign down first so that I know that I am going to keep those equal signs lined up. So for collecting like terms, on the left side you have 7x minus 4x, and that gives you 3x. And for the constants, you have negative 3 plus 6, which is positive 3. On the right side, you have negative 9x plus 8x, and that gives you negative 1x. And for the constants, you have 2 minus 7, which is negative 5, plus 1, which is negative 4. You, of course, can always use your calculator to collect those like terms to help you. So the next thing you're going to do is to collect the variable terms on one side and the constant terms on the other side by doing the opposite operation. Most people collect the variable terms on the left and the constant terms on the right, but I recommend doing whatever keeps the x term positive. So add or subtract, whichever's the opposite, the x term from side 1 and do the same to the other side. So on the right side, we want to eliminate the x term. So the opposite of negative 1x, you're going to add 1x to both sides. Then you're going to add or subtract, whichever is opposite, the constant term from the left side and do the same to the right side. So what we want to do is eliminate the positive 3 from the left side. So the opposite of plus 3 is subtract 3. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So this means, put your equal sign, and on the left, the constants have been eliminated because positive 3 subtract 3 is 0, and for the x's, 3x plus 1x is 4x. For the constants on the right, the x terms have been eliminated because negative 1x plus 1x is 0. And then negative 4 plus 3 is negative 7. Then the last step is to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. You want to remember there's no decimals. You have to leave your answers as improper fractions in lowest terms, or possibly proper fractions depending on the case. So what we're going to do is divide both sides by the coefficient of x. That's the number in front of the x, which is 4. And since you can't take negative 7 and divide it by 4 without getting a decimal, you're going to leave it as a fraction. You want to leave it as a fraction that is proper or improper, not a mixed number. So 7 over 4, and the negative needs to stay at the top.